Welcome everybody to The World is a Mess. I just want to steampunk it. This is episode 75, September the 7th, 2022. I'm your host, Steampunk Star Raisin, here in North Hollywood of AberStreet.com, and I'm here with my co-host, Daniel Bertison, and he is in Bellwood, Ontario, Canada. How's it going, Daniel? I'm feeling a little bit sad.
Yeah, same here. I'm so depressed like a dog.
Well, because Dragoncon is over, and I flew in from Atlanta yesterday, the day after Dragoncon. I had a blast, like I always do at Dragoncon. Yeah, I got to meet William Shatner again. It's only going to be on my TikTok. Here, I can send you a link. Let me go to my TikTok, mobilizing TikTok, clicking on my profile.
30 seconds. They could give you at least a minute or two. That's decent. A minute or two.
Well,
wow, he's on a motorized wheelchair.
he is. Oh, wait. Copy link. There we go. Are you on your Skype?
Yep.
There's the video. I'm not going to upload it to my YouTube because I use my YouTube for press credentials, where we were not allowed to interview celebrities unless we get invited. I was not invited to interview William Shatner, so I just recorded on my iPad. I documented what it was like to meet him and his experience. Now, I don't have video of him actually riding around in his wheelchair, but he did arrive on his wheelchair. And you can see in the video, as I pan the camera around, you'll see this little motorized scooter or wheelchair. And that was the wheelchair that William Shatner arrived on. And he was behind a wall of plexiglass, and he was signing autographs. I guess that was more like a germ guard. The line wasn't really that long. There was like maybe 10 people ahead of me in line. This was Sunday, September the 4th. It was he was like an hour late arriving. Was supposed to arrive at 10 a.m. He didn't get there till 11 a.m. And I was wondering if something had happened to him because he was so late showing up. But William Shatner finally did show up, and it moved along the line pretty quick. I only had about 30 seconds with him, and I asked him when he was getting the autograph, and I said I didn't want it personalized because they had convention staff that they asked you if you wanted personalized to somebody, because some people were getting autographs for their grandparents because their grandparents were fans of Star Trek. And I said, no, I didn't want it personalized, and moved forward. And he had a bunch of Sharpies, and it was $120 for the autograph, but that included a colored print. Hold on just a sec. I'm going to get the autograph. You still there?
Yep. I'm here.
There's my William Shatner autograph. I decided to, the first autograph, this is my second William Shatner autograph. The first autograph was as him dressed as Captain Kirk, and it was a picture taken in the 1960s. This has like a sculpture, with Jeff Bezos, kind of symbolic of Jeff Bezos' space company, Blue Origin. And because he traveled in a suborbital flight to the edge of space, and he pretty much looks like this picture. So this is a pretty good contemporary picture of what William Shatner looks like today. He definitely doesn't look 90 years old.
Yeah,
Looks pretty healthy. I don't know. He'll probably live to be 100 if I had to guess, based on the way he looked. But
Yeah,
you know,
he's gonna outlive the Queen of England.
when I saw him, I actually asked him one question. I said, if there was any one thing you can do over again, what would it be? And he's like, meeting you earlier. He's such a smart ass. But yeah, you actually hear the brief conversation I had with William Shatner in the TikTok video. Did you get the link?
Yep.
So yeah, it's
That is so cool. I mean, that sounds so cool. No, like,
yeah. It was
but
cool.
did you ask him? You should have asked him.
I asked him if there was. Well, I only had 30 seconds, so I only really had time to ask one question. If there was any one thing you could do over, what would it be? And he said, meeting you earlier, because he was like an hour late.
Wow, because like, if I was there, I would ask him like, so what was it like to work on the Starship Enterprise, and what was it like to travel through time?
Well, but yeah, that's not reality. But I also, if I had another chance to ask him another question, I would have asked him, what was that poignant thought you had that you wanted to say to Jeff Bezos before Jeff Bezos cut you off and sprayed champagne all over people? Because there's this video, it's kind of amusing, where William Shatner is talking about how he was emotionally touched and we need to take better care of the earth and yada, yada, yada. And Jeff Bezos started to get bored listening to William Shatner. Then he all of a sudden pops open champagne and he's spraying it all over the place. And I wanted to know, what was his poignant moment that he wanted to share with Jeff Bezos before Jeff Bezos cut him off. But I don't know. Some things you just don't have the ability to learn. And that is one of them. If I ever meet William Shatner again, I've met him a few times over the years. I seriously doubt that he remembers me, because I'm sure he meets hundreds of thousands of people every year going to conventions. So I was really surprised. It was cash only. I couldn't even use my debit card, so I had to scramble and I had to get money from my friend Lee to even pay for the autograph, because I didn't even have $120 cash on me, which is interesting. I guess because he doesn't want to have to pay tax on that. That's why he's taking cash only, which made it kind of difficult, because most vendors at Dragoncon were well capable of taking debit cards. But William Shatner was cash only. And I was amazed by, when I showed up Sunday. Now, it was a Sunday. Usually Sunday is a little bit slower than Friday or Saturday at Dragoncon. Usually, I was surprised that there was only 15 people in line ahead of me. There was probably a total of 30 people in line. And that was even after waiting for an hour. When I saw William Shatner back in 2009, there was at least several thousand people. There was a line wrapped around the building. Now that was William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. This time it was just William Shatner, because unfortunately Leonard Nimoy has passed away in 2015. But yeah, it was a good experience. Got to meet William Shatner again, got to see what he looked like. He really doesn't seem like he's aged that much. He looks almost, like I said, he looks almost identical to this picture. As you can see, there's the autograph. I have it in protective plastic. But I don't know. I'm feeling charitable. I mean, I have 2 William Shatner autographs. I don't necessarily need 2 William Shatner, although it is kind of sentimental, because I remember when he signed it. You can actually see this picture being signed, which is going to enhance its value if I ever needed to resell it. I mean, it would enhance its value because it's not personalized. Personalized autographs are worth less, because, people who collect celebrity autographs, they were like, well, I'm not interested in Joe Blow that he, signed to. So non-personalized autographs are worth more. And if you have video or written documentation that proves that he signed it. So I actually have a video. You can actually see him signing this very picture that I'm holding right here. William Shatner's fingerprints are on this. So pretty cool. I handed out a bunch of flyers for 8footbeast.com on behalf of my girlfriend. I have a really funny Dragoncon story. I tried to go to the Boinking Beasties panel, which my girlfriend badly wanted me to go, but I unfortunately didn't realize that it was going to be super popular, and the Boinking Beasties panel was like wrapped around the building. And so I tried to get in line, and the lines were confusing because apparently there were at least 2 or 3 panels that were lined up parallel next to each other, so it was confusing. And somebody let me in line, and I thought I had gotten in line, but I ended up getting in line for the wrong panel, and I ended up not going to Boinking Beasties. Yeah, I seriously doubt I would have been able to go because it was wrapped around the building, and if there's too many people, they often don't let you in. And so when I got to the panel, there was some guy that was hold on, let me look at my notes here on my phone. It was the notorious zombie-related erotic sci-fi show with DC Douglas. He's apparently a voice actor from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and he's also an actor from Umbrella Academy. I've never seen Umbrella Academy and never saw JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, so I never heard of him. And he was basically doing adult fan fiction and getting various women to come up from the audience and like make an orgasm. It was very awkward, and there was nothing monster related. They did do Lady D or Lady Demetrius from Resident Evil 8 fanfic. It was hilarious, but I ended up having to go because I had to get with my ride because my ride was leaving early Sunday and I needed to ride back to my hotel. But yeah, that was an adult related panel. I had to, they were requiring everybody to show IDs in order to get into the show, and for obvious reason, because it was very adult oriented. I was not allowed to record video, so I did a live streaming audio to my girlfriend because she wanted to listen to the panel. And it was a happy accident because my girlfriend is a big fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and this guy was voice actor on that show, which I think is still current. And so yeah, that was hilarious. Happy accident. My girlfriend was actually happy that I went to that panel discussion and the erotic fan fiction show instead of I mean, it would have been nice to go to Boinking Beasties. I would have had to get there. The people that were at the beginning of the line had gotten there at 8 p.m. and Boinking Beasties started at 10 p.m. and I had gotten there at like 9:30 and it was already wrapped around the building. So next year, I will definitely make sure I get to the panel at least 2 hours early if I want to have even a reasonable chance of getting in. Other things that I did at Dragoncon, I did a lot of Catan gaming, but I really sucked at Catan this year, man. I was kind of rusty, and I just did really terrible. I'm thinking about meeting up with a gaming group in the LA area so I can play Catan. And yeah, I really love the game. Actually thinking about buying my own copy of the game because I don't even own a copy of the game and I need to practice more. But yeah, I love Catan. Wish I could have played more. My friend Lee met me there and he provided transportation for a couple of days. He was really late getting to the convention. He was supposed to arrive Thursday and he didn't get there till Friday. And I practically missed most of the convention during Friday because we met with Lee's coworker from Southern Company to go out to eat for Korean barbecue. The Korean barbecue was awesome, but it wasn't so awesome that I would have rather been at Dragoncon. So I think next year, if I have the opportunity and Lee again wants to meet up with coworkers, I'm going to be like, hey man, you go meet up, you do you. I'm going to go do Dragoncon because Dragoncon's only once a year. And I missed out on a lot of gaming. I thought we were only going to go to Korean barbecue for like an hour, but it ended up being like an all night thing. Like, my friend Lee talked and talked, and I get it. And they were doing inside jokes about stuff that happened at work, which I couldn't relate to. And his friend Allison from work was an electrical engineer. Then her wife, because it was a lesbian couple. I think her name was Eucharist or something like that. Her name was really hard to pronounce. She's from Brazil, but they were really big fans of Transformers. They had 2 glass cases of Transformers figures. You could tell that they had a lot of money to spend because one's an aerospace engineer and the other one was an electrical engineer. One worked on Transformers, repairing Transformers, and the other one did computer servers. But so yeah, it was interesting meeting Lee's co-workers and his friends, and she bitched about Dragoncon the whole time about how she didn't like waiting in line for an hour to pick up her badge. And I'm like, really? They've streamlined it where it only takes an hour? I remember going to Dragoncon in 2014 where the line was wrapped around the building, the Sheraton, and it took me like 3 hours to get my badge. Of course, it only takes me like 5 minutes now because, there's not that many people in the press pool, and I am privileged to be press at Dragoncon. I've been doing press at Dragoncon since 2017. And not only is the badge free if you're press, but it's also easy to pick up because the press office, which is only accessible to press, doesn't have a very long line. There's probably maybe 50 people in the press pool. So I'm like 1 in 50, and I got there late on Thursday, and I think I did pick up my press badge till 5 p.m. on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, it was great. I interviewed 5 people. I'm still in the process of editing the videos. They'll be on YouTube and TikTok soon. I think I'm going to start prioritizing content on my TikTok because my TikTok gets more views than my YouTube lately, even though I only have 17 followers on TikTok. But yeah, if you look up Star Raisin on TikTok, I am definitely on TikTok. I uploaded my William Shatner video, my experience of meeting William Shatner, getting an autograph from him on TikTok. But anyway, yeah, I had a blast. Really, William Shatner was the only celebrity guest that I met. But I played a few games of Catan. I lost every game. I interviewed about 5 people. I even interviewed some pro-choice protesters that were protesting the convention to bring awareness to women's reproductive rights and abortion rights. And so that was a very interesting, productive interview. Like I said, I got to have all my interviews turned in. I got to have all my links submitted to media relations at Dragoncon by the end of the month, or I could lose my press credentials for next year. So I'm definitely going to be hard at work on that this month, and I'll let you guys know when the videos are live on TikTok. I think I'll upload the TikTok first, and then I'll upload the YouTube second, because I need to start pushing that, because like I haven't even really promoted my TikTok in it. And I did an experiment when I interviewed Amber Martinez. I uploaded the same video to TikTok, and it's gotten twice as many views on TikTok than it did on YouTube. The algorithm on YouTube, and because I'm not monetized, is just killing my views. So yeah, I don't know what I can do about that. So I'm just going to try to be divergent and upload to more than one platform, which is definitely better, I think, to do that, because you never know, when something will fall out of favor or popularity. So you have any questions about my experiences at Dragoncon, Daniel?
Yeah, I just saw that William Shatner interview. It was kind of cool. I know it lasted 30 seconds, but it was pretty cool. And wow, you met a living legend, and you're a part of history now because you met him, right?
I've met him 3 times. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I've met William Shatner 4 times. 4 times.
Awesome. Yeah.
I met him one time, or I met him twice at Dragoncon 2009. One for the autograph line, one time for the photo op, and then I met him one time at Kamikaze Expo 2015, which would later be known as LA Comic Con. When I went to his press conference when he was trying to do a fundraiser to raise, he was trying to do like a GoFundMe for his Man of War graphic novel. And I asked him a couple of questions as a member of the press pool at that convention back in 2015. That was the 3rd time that I met William Shatner, and this is the 4th time that I've met William Shatner. He looked pretty good for age 90. He looked like he was more like in his 60s. He actually looks pretty healthy. I mean, like I said, he looks pretty close. That's why I had several pictures to pick from. I could have picked a picture when he, was younger as Captain Kirk, but I picked one that, that symbolizes what he's been up to recently. Like this is a picture of like some kind of rocket sculpture. Oh, it's got the dates that he wrote on the Blue Origin flight. And he looks like this. This is what William Shatner looks like today. Which is pretty healthy for somebody that's 90. So yeah, that was entertaining. It was a little pricey, but I wanted to document the experience. I wanted to meet him one more time at least because he's getting up in age. You don't know when his last convention will be, because I was hoping like Stan Lee would live to be at least 100, but he didn't. He lived to be, I think, 94. So yeah, 4th time meeting William Shatner. And I also got a little steampunk necklace. I bought this from one of the vendors for $15. See that? It's got the little gears and symbols of steampunk. So yeah, I had a blast, man. You need to start saving money. You need to go to Toronto Comic Con. Maybe we can coordinate. Maybe I can come visit you one year and we can get your mom to drive us to a hotel in Toronto. We can go to Toronto Comic Con. The last time I went to Toronto Comic Con 10 years ago, 2012, I had a blast. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're down to 7 minutes.
So how's the war in Ukraine going? Do you have time for that?
Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll do the last 7 minutes will be the war in Ukraine update. Hold on. We go to Al Jazeera. I really like the coverage that Al Jazeera has been providing on the Ukrainian war. It's a little bit less biased because like U.S. news is going to have a U.S. Propaganda perspective. Of course, Russia Today is going to have a Russian propaganda perspective. The EU or France 24 is going to have kind of a propaganda perspective, and Al Jazeera really let's see here. Interesting. Okay. Share screen. You see that map?
Yep.
Well, it looks like Ukraine is counterattacking through this area right here. These circles here indicate significant activity within the last 24 hours. This map, of course, is on Al Jazeera. This is day 196 of the war, September the 7th, 2022, 10 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. And it seems like Ukraine has succeeded partially in their counterattack of retaking some of the Donbas region, because you can see the yellow region has gotten bigger. but they still haven't retaken Mariupol or Kherson. So largely ineffective so far, the Ukrainian counterattack, I would say. Like I said, because Russia has withdrawn from Kiev, they got their ass kicked there. They suffered heavy losses. I think as much as 15% of their military strength was lost trying to take Kiev. They've redeployed their forces. They withdrew from they withdrew back to the east and focused their forces on the east. And they've been able to take Mariupol and Kherson, which are two major victories. And they've also been able to take the canal that provides fresh water to Crimea, which is going to consolidate their hold on Crimea. And yeah, the problem, like I said, I've said this before, there was an interview with a Ukrainian officer who said that the Russian army outnumbered them like 10-1. They had 10 times the artillery than the Ukrainian army. So even though they have counterattack, it's a limited success, and it's largely stagnated into largely a stalemate. But yeah, Russia controls like maybe 1/4 of the country. There's no end in sight. There's no end in sight, really, when it comes to the war. I don't know when it's going to end anytime soon. The United States is perfectly okay with providing weapons to the Ukrainian army, and they continue to provide billions of dollars in weapons. And the Ukrainian army is just not as big or as robust as Russia. Russia is going to use blunt force tactics, where the Ukrainian army is using more precision tactics. But I think the one thing I fear is Ukraine, it doesn't have the proper amount of strength to do a proper counterattack. Because with the way Russia got their ass kicked several months ago trying to take Kiev, they should have been able to take advantage of that, capitalize on that success, and kick Russia out of Ukraine. But they have failed to kick Russia out of Ukraine, and it's largely turned into a stalemate. It is really good business for defense contractors, but it's not really good for the people of Ukraine or the people of the world. Also, this continues to disrupt the production of grain, and Ukraine is one of the world's largest suppliers of food and grain, which is leading to global instability and food shortages. I know right now only in Albania and let's see, India. Sri Lanka. I don't know why I had a brain fart. Couldn't think of the name. Yeah, Sri Lanka and I know Albania largely depended on, I think, Ukrainian food exports to those countries, and that's largely led to food shortages, and it could lead to more global instability in Africa, as well as other areas. And according to the headlines, Al Jazeera, Ukraine celebrates counterattack success, Russia retaliates. It says Russia appears to be on the defensive as Ukraine slowly but surely gains ground. And it says here, Ukrainian soldier takes a selfie. Wow, that is so 21st century. A Ukrainian soldier takes a selfie as an artillery system fires on the front line in the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine Saturday, September the 3rd, 2022. Russian forces lost territory on all fronts during the 28th week of the war as the counterattack offensive spread in the southern Kherson region to the eastern and northern fronts of the country, demonstrating Ukraine's ongoing ability to seize the initiative. North Ukrainian forces launched a new counterattack in the northern Kharkiv region on September the 6th. Despite radio silence from the country's political and military leadership in Kiev, Ukrainian and Russian bloggers reported heavy fighting in Verbivka and Balaklia, God, I don't know how to pronounce some of these Russian, Ukrainian names. Southeast, 44 miles southeast of Kharkiv city, which Ukraine recaptured in early May. Ukrainian forces have appeared to reclaim Verbivka, but they still haven't retaken Kirsten or Mariupol. So until they retake major cities like Kirsten and Mariupol, I would still largely call this a stalemate. But we are out of time. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me stop sharing. This has been your host of Steampunk Star Raisin of The World is a Mess, and I just want the Steampunk in episode 75, September the 7th, 2022. And I'm here with your co-host, Daniel Bertizan of Bellwood, Ontario, Canada. You have a nice day, and we'll see you 25 billion years. I will.